Something is shifting. Can you feel it? There's a different quality to the air, a quiet intensity that wasn't there before, as if the universe itself is trying to get our attention. It's not loud or obvious, but it's steady, like a whisper just behind the noise of everyday life, warning of something immense drawing closer. And while most of the world goes on unaware, this message is especially meant for those between the ages of 40 and 65 and beyond. If you found yourself here, it's not by chance. The Pleiadians have sent a message, one that carries a truth so urgent, so profound, that it cannot be overlooked. What's approaching isn't simply another event. It's something that will reshape the very way we live and understand reality. Those who are prepared will feel the shift as a call, a doorway opening into something deeper. Those who aren't may struggle to navigate the waves of change. This isn't fear-based. It's about readiness, awareness, and understanding what's really happening beneath the surface of everyday life. For thousands of years, humanity has been guided by forces beyond this earth. Now, a new shift is arriving, one that centers itself particularly around those in midlife and later. You might wonder why. Why you? Why now? What haven't you been told? There's a purpose behind you finding these words today. The timing, the synchronicity. None of it is random. The veil that has long obscured the truth is lifting, and with it comes revelations that will either awaken or overwhelm. Some will welcome this knowledge, feeling as though pieces they've long been missing are finally falling into place. Others may resist it, brushing it off, only to find themselves looking back with regret. Because once your eyes are open, you can't go back to how things were. Life won't allow you to unsee the truth. The reason this message is surfacing now has everything to do with the transformation Earth is currently undergoing. This isn't just another planetary phase or a random energetic moment. It's part of a massive cosmic cycle that reaches beyond Earth and into the very pulse of the universe. Think of the universe as breathing, slow and steady like a sleeping giant. But now, that breath is quickening, signaling a shift that touches everything. The celestial alignments, the increase in solar activity, the strange sensations many are experiencing, they are not coincidences. They are indicators. They are echoes of something ancient being awakened. It's like a lock has been turned in a door that's waited for ages to be opened. And that door leads to an entirely different level of awareness. The Pleiadians have long known this moment would come. They've observed quietly, sent signs and messages, many of which were missed in the distractions of daily life. But now, the call is louder. It can no longer be ignored. This isn't about fear. It's about clarity. The shift is no longer a distant possibility. It is here. The reason their guidance is more present than ever is because Earth is nearing an energetic threshold. Think of it like the transition between seasons. For so long, humanity has existed in a kind of spiritual winter, a quiet, deep space where truth lay dormant beneath the surface. But now, the cosmic spring is beginning to blossom. With it comes the activation of consciousness, an acceleration unlike anything we've felt before. This isn't a gentle unfolding. It's powerful, like a river breaking through a dam. It carries with it a force that will reshape systems, beliefs, and even our understanding of self. Many have already felt the shift. Random bursts of intuition, vivid dreams, emotional waves that come from nowhere, unexplained body sensations. These aren't just coincidences. They are signs that the old is dissolving and something new is emerging. The Pleiadians are not here to interfere or to save. They are here to illuminate the path forward, to serve as a guiding light through the fog of change. Earth is climbing toward a new vibrational frequency, and this journey will either awaken humanity or leave many lost in resistance. This separation from higher dimensional awareness didn't happen overnight. It was slow and subtle, like a flame quietly being extinguished over time. But there was a time, long ago, when human beings lived in harmony with the cosmos. Civilizations like the Mayans and Egyptians built their wisdom around the stars. They didn't see the sky as just space. They saw it as a mirror of their own inner journey. The stars were guides, teachers, reminders of where they came from and where they were going. But over time, the world shifted. Materialism crept in. The sacred was replaced with structure. Inner knowing was pushed aside for outer control. The divine spark was ridiculed, labeled myth or fantasy. Humanity's connection to the unseen was buried under the weight of distraction, fear, and the illusion that we are separate from the rest of the universe. But now, that ember is reigniting. A remembering is taking place, not because something new has arrived, but because we are finally ready to receive what's been calling to us all along. The Pleiadians have not suddenly appeared. They have always been there. But the energetic conditions are now aligning in such a way that we can hear them again. And yet, every time humanity nears a great awakening, there are always forces that rise to prevent it. The energy disruption we're witnessing now isn't only a natural byproduct of change. It is also being manipulated by those who benefit from keeping humanity asleep. Think about it. What happens if people begin to truly remember their power? What if they realize they are not limited, not broken, but deeply connected to the divine intelligence of the cosmos? Such realization would unravel the systems built on fear, division, and control. That is why distraction is everywhere. That's why fear is constantly pushed into the collective. That's why people are being pulled further away from themselves and each other. Technology, which once held the potential to expand our consciousness, is now being weaponized. Frequencies that distort our natural thought patterns, information overload that keeps intuition quiet, digital constructs that pull people out of their real experience and into illusion. These are not harmless conveniences. They are walls built to keep us from looking within. But no matter how many barriers are built, they cannot stop what is destined. The energy of this shift is too strong, and those who are sensitive to it feel it in every breath, every moment, every change within themselves. The Pleiadians are not here to rescue anyone. That's never been the point. They are reminding us that we never needed saving in the first place. The power has always been ours. The choice has always been ours, to awaken or to remain asleep. And right now, in this unfolding moment, that choice is more important than ever before. So what is this event that is coming? What is it that's already starting to unfold? It's not just a celestial alignment. It's not another astrological trend that passes with the wind. It's a turning point, something that will leave a permanent imprint on human consciousness. It's not a theory. It's already happening. Earth is moving through a period of extraordinary transformation, pushed by forces far beyond our usual comprehension. For years, the signs have been building. But now, they're impossible to ignore. One of the most noticeable shifts is in the sun itself. Solar activity is surging in ways we haven't seen before. Powerful emissions of energy are being sent toward Earth at a scale that is activating more than just technology. It's awakening something deep within us. These solar flares aren't just natural weather. They're energetic messages, codes sent to activate evolution. When these waves hit Earth, they interact with our planet's magnetic field and with our own energetic bodies. That's why people are feeling off. Restlessness, strange thoughts, intense emotions, even physical discomfort. It's all part of the activation process. These flares are unlocking parts of human DNA that have been dormant for ages. Abilities that were once commonplace but forgotten are beginning to return. But with this surge of light also comes an exposure. Everything hidden, internally and externally, is being brought to the surface. And that can be overwhelming. It's not just about dealing with the world outside, it's about the inner transformation that demands to be acknowledged. Reality is stretching. Time feels different. The veil that once separated dimensions is thinning. People are starting to see things they never noticed before. Not because those things weren't there, but because the filters that blocked our sight are dissolving. For centuries, we've lived behind that veil, convinced that only what we could see or measure was real. But the universe is far more alive, far more interconnected. than we've been taught to believe. What's coming is not a punishment. It's not the end. It's a beginning. But beginnings require courage. They demand presence. And they ask us to remember who we truly are. The shift is already here. And the more we listen, the more we align with what's unfolding. You didn't stumble upon this message by accident. You're here because part of you already knows. The time for remembering has arrived. The universe is calling, and your soul is ready to answer. Something is happening to our world. Can you feel it? The veil that once separated what we could see and know from what lay hidden is now thinning. And with that shift comes a wave of knowledge that was once deemed forbidden. This expanding awareness is not just a mystical notion. It's a real and tangible shift in consciousness that's affecting every layer of life, both individually and collectively. People are beginning to recall things they never consciously remembered. Memories that seem to rise from deep within the soul, almost as if lifetimes are merging with the present. Strange coincidences will start to feel less like chance and more like guidance. Intuition will strengthen. Thoughts may begin to manifest with stunning speed. And while it might feel magical, this is not fantasy. It's a natural result of consciousness breaking free from old limitations. But this awakening won't happen the same way for everyone. For those who've spent years searching for meaning, questioning reality, and tuning into higher truth, what's unfolding may feel like a homecoming. But for others, those deeply anchored in the physical material world, the sudden flood of new awareness can be overwhelming. What once felt certain may begin to unravel. The familiar might feel foreign. And perhaps the most tangible sign of this shift will be the way time itself begins to distort. Time, as we've known it, is an artificial construct that organizes our experience in this third-dimensional reality. But as the planet's frequency rises, that construct is loosening. Some days will seem to stretch endlessly, while others pass in a blink. Time will no longer behave in the neat linear way we've been taught to expect. This isn't an illusion. It's a reflection of reality restructuring itself. As people begin to experience these changes, daily routines may start to feel restrictive and unnatural. Sleep cycles might become unpredictable. Long-held memories may feel jumbled or altered. The future could feel harder to plan for, not because it's lost, but because consciousness is starting to operate beyond the confines of the old framework. We're being guided into a new rhythm, one that's more aligned with the flow of a multidimensional existence. At the heart of this transformation is the Earth itself. Her energy grid, an intricate network of ley lines and power centers, has always carried cosmic energy into our physical world. Over time, many of these energy points were blocked or manipulated, often by those who sought control. But now, a planetary reset is unfolding. These sacred points are coming back to life, realigning to allow a purer, more powerful flow of energy to enter. As this happens, we'll see profound shifts across both the physical world and human consciousness. Energy vortexes, places where the Earth's energy is particularly strong, will become more active. People may feel pulled to certain locations, unable to explain why. Ancient sacred sites that once seemed like lifeless ruins will awaken, radiating the same frequency they once did in ages past. Those sensitive to energy will feel this deeply, as if something electric is moving through their very bones. But any kind of reboot comes with temporary instability. As Earth realigns, the structures built on distorted energy will begin to crack. We'll see global events shift suddenly, weather and climate behaving in unexpected ways, and a collective sense that something deeper is changing, even if we can't always name it. Those who have long controlled the Earth's energy flow may try to stop what's coming, but their influence is waning. This shift is being guided by forces far beyond human interference. This is more than just a moment. It's the beginning of an era that will shape human evolution for generations. The signs are already here for those who choose to notice. What's coming isn't something to fear. It's something to prepare for. It's a chance to wake up, to release the old limitations, and to embrace the greater truth now rising to the surface. Not everyone will experience this shift in the same way. Some will feel it as the confirmation of everything they've always intuitively known. Others will resist, frightened by how quickly the world around them seems to change. The way each person responds depends on their level of awareness, their openness to energetic transformation, and their willingness to let go of the past. Those often called empaths, starseeds, or awakened souls will likely feel the shift more intensely. For them, it's less of a surprise and more of a long-awaited activation. Their intuition will sharpen. Their dreams may become prophetic. They'll feel pulled toward wisdom, knowledge, and practices that help them align with this new frequency. It may feel as though a forgotten part of their soul is coming back to life. These moments of clarity, emotional breakthroughs, and energetic downloads will feel like a remembering of who they really are. But those who haven't yet opened to this energy may feel confused and disoriented. They'll sense something is happening, but they won't understand what it is. Their minds might push away what their bodies can clearly feel, causing anxiety, frustration, and even anger. The belief systems they've depended on, whether spiritual, political, or social, will no longer offer the answers they seek. The more they try to hold on to the old ways, the more they'll feel like they're being swept under by a tide they can't control. And this isn't just happening in the mind. It's occurring at the level of DNA. Human DNA holds codes, dormant strands waiting to be activated by the right frequency. For those who are open to this shift, these activations will unlock powerful changes. Their intuition will increase, their awareness will expand, and they'll feel a deeper connection to all living things. Their bodies may respond too, reacting more strongly to foods, light, and sound. They'll begin to sense what serves their energy and what depletes it. They may feel guided toward new places, new people, and new knowledge, as if something deeper is steering their path. Those who resist, however, may face the opposite effect. Instead of activation, they may experience suppression. Their bodies might feel exhausted, their minds clouded, and they may suffer from mysterious symptoms they can't explain. This isn't a punishment, it's a reflection of being out of alignment. When the energy of transformation is met with fear and resistance, the body struggles to cope. True harmony requires surrender to the process, not resistance against it. And the physical signs of this transformation are becoming harder to ignore. Waves of dizziness, fatigue, or sudden emotional shifts will be common. Sleep will feel different, restless, or filled with vivid dreams. There may be strange sensations in the head, pressure in the ears, or heat in the spine. These are not symptoms of illness. They are signs of energetic recalibration. The nervous system is adjusting to a higher frequency, learning to hold more light than ever before. Diet and lifestyle will shift as well. People may feel drawn away from heavy, processed foods and instead crave lighter, more natural nourishment. Many will seek out time in nature, sensing its grounding energy as Earth transforms alongside us. The need to simplify life, to detox emotionally and physically, will grow stronger. Relationships, too, will be tested by this shift. As people change, their energetic compatibility changes as well. Some connections will deepen as souls align on similar paths. Others will fall away as outdated dynamics crumble. Relationships built on control, fear, or illusion will struggle to survive. Authenticity and energetic resonance will become the new foundation for love, friendship, and community. Careers will also come into question. Many will no longer feel fulfilled in roles that once seemed important. The old definitions of success, status, money, approval, will begin to feel empty. A deeper calling will stir within, guiding people toward purpose-driven work. Some may become healers, guides, or creators of new systems that support this evolutionary leap. Those who ignore this call may feel lost or dissatisfied, unable to find joy in what they once pursued. Even the core beliefs we hold about life, death, history, and what it means to be human will shift. What once seemed certain may now feel irrelevant. Truths long buried will come to light. Some will embrace this as freedom. Others will feel like the ground beneath them is disappearing. But the truth will be impossible to hide. It will shine through, unmistakable and clear. The only question is, who will be ready to see it? This transformation isn't something that can be avoided. It's not just happening around us, it's happening within us. For some, it will be a graceful alignment. For others, it may feel like the very fabric of their reality is unraveling. But whether we resist or surrender, the shift is here. It is already underway, and it's calling each of us to choose how we will respond. While all this unfolds, there are forces that would prefer you stay distracted. Those behind the curtain have always known that whoever controls perception controls reality. That's why, as this energy shift intensifies, we're witnessing an increase in distractions, manufactured crises, divisive politics, fear-based news, and an overwhelming flood of meaningless content. These are not random. They are deliberate strategies to keep humanity from awakening. The media, once a tool to inform, now often functions as a method of control. Every headline, every narrative, every breaking story is designed to provoke a reaction. The goal is to keep people trapped in fear, anger, and confusion. In this state, we're too drained to ask deeper questions or look within. We get stuck in survival mode, unable to focus on the truth rising just beneath the surface. Fear has become the main tool of control. It lowers your frequency, dulls your clarity, and keeps you dependent on external systems for safety and identity. The more fear is injected into society, through war, disease, financial collapse, the more people are conditioned to look outward instead of inward. But fear is not your natural state. Expansion is. And the moment we step out of fear, the illusion begins to crumble. Those who have built this artificial matrix of control know what's at stake. They understand that if humanity truly wakes up, if we collectively raise our frequency, their influence will dissolve. So as the shift intensifies, so will the noise, the chaos, the conflict. But remember, before any great awakening, the darkness always pushes hardest. That's why now, more than ever, it is essential to stay grounded, to stay present, and to remember who you are beneath the noise. Because beneath it all, the truth is simple. You were never meant to stay asleep. You were never meant to live in fear. You came here for this moment, to awaken, to remember, and to rise. The shift is not just coming, it is already here. They've worked hard to keep humanity fixated on conflict in the outer world, distracting us from the real transformation that's unfolding within. But it goes far deeper than surface-level manipulation. What's happening stretches beyond emotion and thought. It reaches into the fabric of time itself. Right now, there's a hidden struggle playing out, a battle between our natural evolution and artificial interference. Human beings were always meant to awaken in harmony with the cosmic rhythms, to rise in consciousness gradually and organically. But that process has been hijacked. Using highly advanced technology, those in control have attempted to warp and delay the awakening. They've meddled with the timeline, bending reality with predictive programming, AI manipulation, and frequency distortion. What should have been a graceful unfolding of human potential has been reshaped into something synthetic. Much of what surrounds us now is an imitation of reality, a simulated version designed to distract, confuse, and suppress. Take social media, for example. It's often seen as a way to connect with others, but at a deeper level, it functions as a frequency tool, designed to entrap the mind in cycles of fear, division, and emotional reactivity. Algorithms aren't just serving up content, they're programming reactions. They're reinforcing emotions that lower our frequency and weaken our sense of inner truth. The digital world, increasingly saturated with AI-generated content, subtly replaces our original thought with pre-scripted narratives, guiding collective consciousness away from awakening. Alongside this, we see a growing push toward virtual reality and transhumanism, ideas and technologies that, while fascinating on the surface, risk pushing humanity further from its natural state. The more people immerse themselves in these artificial constructs, the more detached they become from their inner world. their intuition, and their soul's evolution. The ultimate aim here is disconnection, to pull people away from their higher selves and into dependency on a fabricated system. But it's not the technology itself that's inherently wrong. Like any tool, it can be used for growth or for control. Unfortunately, in the hands of those seeking power, it becomes a weapon. Frequencies from everyday devices, the constant hum of electromagnetic interference, and even popular entertainment are carefully calibrated to alter consciousness subtly. Most people feel it, this fog, this strange fatigue or mental clutter, without knowing where it comes from. But it's there, constant and unrelenting, and it keeps us locked into a version of life that isn't truly real. Among the most deeply hidden truths, though, is the understanding that human energy, particularly emotional energy, is a resource. Emotions like fear, despair, and hopelessness are not just unpleasant states. They're energetic frequencies, and they can be harvested. Those in control don't merely want people to feel lost. They feed off the energy produced by these emotional states. It becomes a form of sustenance in realms both physical and unseen. When major events happen, wars, financial crises, social unrest, they're not always random or accidental. They serve a dual purpose: to maintain control and to produce large-scale emotional distress. Every time someone falls into despair, every moment of anger or fear, that energy is extracted. You can see it in the way tragedy is constantly amplified through the media, how hopelessness is normalized, how constant stimulation keeps people on edge. It's a system designed to generate a never-ending loop of emotional output, fuel for something invisible, yet very real. Breaking free from this cycle isn't just about changing your beliefs or tuning out the news. It's about reclaiming your energy. Becoming conscious of how your feelings are being influenced allows you to take your power back. Awareness itself is an act of liberation. When you recognize that the fear you're feeling doesn't belong to you, or that it's being intentionally triggered, you begin to step out of the trap. This is why spiritual awakening is seen as a threat by those who benefit from the current system, because true awakening shatters their control. It's not about conspiracy. It's about energy. Control systems collapse when people stop feeding them with fear. When you begin to center yourself, to see through the illusion, you no longer become a source of fuel for the old paradigm. And the shift is happening. It's not just a potential future. It's underway. The artificial timelines, however well engineered, can't hold back the rising tide of truth. The world is changing from the inside out. And the question now isn't whether this transformation will unfold. It's who will recognize it in time, who will step into their power and rise with the wave rather than be swept away by it. This is where the guidance of the Pleiadians becomes important. They are helping us remember how to realign with the natural frequencies of the universe. As Earth transitions into a higher state of awareness, the most crucial step is reconnecting with your inner compass, that quiet, intuitive guidance that's always been there, just waiting to be heard. This inner compass doesn't speak in logic or loud commands. It isn't influenced by algorithms or public opinion. It whispers, it nudges, it speaks through the heart, not the mind. But to hear it, you need to tune out the noise of the world, the constant digital chatter, the fear-based narratives, the artificial urgency, and return to stillness. Practices like meditation, mindfulness, and time spent in nature are not just spiritual fluff. They're ways of resetting your energy and making space for clarity. They create a container where the voice of your soul can be heard again. These practices allow you to stabilize in truth, especially when the world around you feels like it's spinning out of control. Anchoring your energy is just as vital. When you ground yourself in higher frequencies, you become less reactive to the fear-based signals that constantly bombard the collective. You become like a deeply rooted tree, able to weather any storm. Visualization exercises, breathwork, and even sound healing can help you stay centered and protected, reconnecting you to the earth and to your own energy body. As old systems collapse, Economically, politically, socially, many people will feel lost. The structures they once trusted will begin to fall apart. But these systems aren't breaking down to be fixed. They're dissolving because they no longer resonate with the vibration of the new earth. And clinging to them will only create more suffering. This is where the concept of the 3D exit plan comes in. It's not about rebellion or resistance. It's about release. It's about recognizing that what's falling away is doing so for a reason. The old paradigms of control, competition, and scarcity are being replaced by something far more beautiful. But in order to embrace the new, we must let go of the old. This exit plan requires sovereignty. It means becoming the author of your own experience and the guardian of your own energy. It's about no longer giving away your power to institutions or external authorities. It's about creating new ways of living, built on unity, cooperation, and shared purpose. And it's about finding your tribe, others who are walking the same path and who can support each other through this immense shift. As this transformation deepens, people will start to sense the new Earth timeline taking shape. A world rooted in love and balance is beginning to emerge. In this new paradigm, the illusion of separation fades. People will see more clearly, feel more deeply, and begin to perceive layers of reality that once felt hidden. Time will feel more fluid. Connection to the earth and to the cosmos will feel natural again, not distant or mystical. This new world isn't a fantasy. It's already forming in the hearts and minds of those who are awakening. It's a place where collaboration replaces competition, where wealth is measured in connection and spiritual richness, not material accumulation. The veil between dimensions will become thinner, and the wisdom that was once obscured will begin to flow freely again. In this space, the human experience will be elevated. Relationships will carry more depth. Compassion and empathy will guide our interactions. We will see each other through the lens of divinity, no longer as separate beings, but as reflections of the same source. Scarcity will give way to abundance, an abundance that flows from within, not from outside conditions. People will no longer scramble for survival. Instead, they will thrive in a reality where everyone is supported by the energy of the planet and the wisdom of their own souls. This shift won't be without challenges. There will be moments of confusion, pain, and disorientation. But those who have awakened their inner compass, grounded themselves in truth, and stepped out of the illusions of the old world will lead the way. They will become guides, light bearers for others, helping more and more souls navigate the path ahead with courage and grace. And through this collective alignment, the new earth will not just be an idea, it will become a lived reality. A place where humanity finally remembers who it truly is. Where the soul is no longer suppressed, but celebrated. Where love, unity, and truth are the foundations of life.